climate change activists have been protesting in England all week, causing serious disruption to traffic. During the protest, campaign group Just Stop Oil blocked roads in London, bringing all traffic to a halt, including emergency service vehicles. Some of the activists even stuck themselves to the road to stop traffic. They're demanding the government halts all new oil and gas licences and consents. I've been speaking to Oliver Clegg, a Just Stop Oil activist who's been involved in protests, and Brendan O'Neill from Spiked Online. I began by asking Oliver what is, in his view, legitimate civil disobedience.
So civil resistance is a style of protest that we're taking, in which we're saying that we are not going to sit by whilst the government acts criminally. We are going to step up and we're going to do something.
But you blocked a road in London, bringing traffic to a halt, including emergency vehicles.
That's simply not true. That's simply not true. If any of those clips were played for their entire duration, you'd see the ambulances, fire engines, they get through.
Well, they get through after being delayed.
No, they get through as soon as they put their blue lights on.
But sorry, what gives you the right to stop people in the first place, Oliver?
Well, we're fighting for our futures here, and this is protest. This is democracy.
Brendan?
I just think Just Stop Oil is an extraordinarily regressive, elitist and classist movement. Let's not beat around the bush here. The fact that we are in an energy crisis and we have these largely posh, often very middle-class people on the streets demanding the ceasing of energy production shows how completely out of touch they are. I saw some Just Stop Oil protesters blocking roads in central London, and I said to them, are you worried about the fact that there are elderly people in this country who might not be able to heat their homes this winter, and you are here calling for less energy rather than more energy? And they didn't care about that. This is a cruel movement that doesn't care what ordinary people need or want. It is elitist and it is backward, and we really need to have that discussion.
And yet they need attention, and they're getting attention, and they want to try to save the planet.
Everything Brendan's just said is a load of rubbish.
Well, let me finish speaking. The point about these kinds of movements is they present themselves as progressive. They present themselves as being in the lineage of the civil rights movement in America and anti-racist movements in the past and other progressive movements. That is completely and utterly false. This is a reactionary Malthusian movement that despises humanity and wants to shrink the human footprint on the planet. When I saw them blocking roads in London, it was nothing short of a class war, because the people sitting on the road blocking them were very plummy, very well-spoken. They all come from largely middle-class backgrounds. The people they were inconveniencing were mostly working-class blokes, delivery men, people who were just off the building site who wanted to go home. That's who they are inconveniencing. That's who they are causing trouble for. And they don't care because they don't...
Leader of the working class. So the energy bills would be 9 times cheaper on renewables than on gas. 9 times cheaper. If you really are trying to make people's energy cheaper, then the first thing you would do is move to renewable energy.
The idea that a country like the UK could be run on wind and solar power is such a deranged fantasy and shows how out of touch...
Yeah, but we can run on gas.
What we need...
Still not have climate breakdown is a deranged idea.
What we need in this country is the production of more nuclear energy, the fracking for shale gas, and the reopening of coal-fired stations that some of these people supported the closure of. And regressive...
Fracking and coal will not help. Did you not hear me? It's 9 times cheaper.
Regressive middle-class activists have campaigned for the closure of all of those forms of energy production, meaning that they have directly contributed to an energy crisis that is causing enormous hardship, mostly for working-class families. So they have caused hardship for the people of this country.
Okay, let's let Oliver speak now. Oliver's turn.
Yeah, Brendan, can you not hear me? It is 9 times cheaper to use renewable energy. 9 times cheaper.
You said that about 9 times. I'm asking you...
You seem to not be understanding it. You keep saying that we're making prices more expensive, but we don't care about the working class, that all that we're doing is creating this energy crisis, and it is completely the opposite. We are fighting so that there can be cheaper energy bills, so that we can get out of this cost of living crisis.
So, Oliver,
the cost of living crisis and the climate crisis are the same crisis,
Oliver,
and they are both driven by fossil fuel billionaires.
Oliver, a London Fire Brigade spokesperson said an appliance from Kensington Fire Station was temporarily stopped by a roadblock and arrived within 14 minutes of being called. That roadblock was you lot. Two people scaled...
within 14 minutes. You're taking that quite entirely out of context. They said
they said there was. They said they were stopped.
Quick. It was directed through.
They said they were stopped by a roadblock.
It got to the emergency, and it did exactly what it was.
Sorry, what bit of this do you not get? The fire brigade.
This out of context.
Oliver.
And insulate Britain when they finish their campaign.
Oliver, I'm not sure if you understand this programme. When I'm asking you questions, please don't shout over me.
And I'm responding.
Well, you can respond. No, stop, Oliver, stop, mate. If you want to be on this programme on the BBC, Oliver, if you want to be on this programme, then treat me as the host of this programme and stop speaking when I'm talking. I'm not putting up with this. Now,
but when you ask me a question, let me answer it.
Now, the Kensington Fire Station, an appliance from there was temporarily stopped by a roadblock. You lot were causing the roadblock. Two people who scaled Queen Elizabeth Bridge, causing its closure, were you lot. Who are you? Where's your mandate?
And you've heard my response already. We did not hold up these fire engines. It is simply a lie to say that. It's been totally taken out of context.
What gives you the right to scale a bridge causing its closure?
Protest is democracy. This is part of the democratic process. It always has been. When a government is causing the collapse of our climate, it isn't democratic to sit by. That's just cowardice. So,
talk to me about how the structure works within your group. Do you have a committee?
Yeah, I mean, we have people that are making the decisions.
Who makes the? Who's the chair? Who is it?
I don't know, and I'm not at liberty to say.
You don't know? You're not at liberty to say? You're blocking our roads and scaling bridges. You're not at liberty to say, and you don't know? How many people are on the committee?
I don't know. Why are you asking me these irrelevant questions?
Was there a vote to block the roads? Which roads are targeted? Who decides which roads are targeted? Is there a vote among members?
Why are you asking these questions?
How many members are there?
Some kind of weird, shady, dark organisation with some kind of strange...
Well, how do we know it's not weird and shady and dark? Because we don't know who you are. You don't even know who the chair is.
I mean, that's civil resistance for you. Of course, the organisers aren't going to speak up and say, I'm the organisers, given that the government is bringing in laws which would put those organisers... But
I'm not talking about the government here. I'm talking about the citizens. I'm talking about the citizens who are being disrupted by you lot, and they may think they want to support you. So who are they supporting? How many people are on this committee?
I simply don't know.
You don't know? Who funds your activities?
Trying to put organisers of protest behind bars for years. Of course, the organisers are not going to come forward and say, look at me, I'm the organiser.
Okay.
Because we have a government that is trying to criminalise protest.
Who funds your activity?
Who funds it? We get funded through donations. From
whom?
We get crowdsourcing money. We get money coming over from the US through a group called the Climate.
Who's the treasurer?
We get money that comes in through our website.
Who's the treasurer?
I said, what is your obsession with the structure of this organisation? I have come on here to talk about the fact that we are in a climate crisis in which 1,700 people lost their lives during the 40-degree heat we had, but would not have happened without the climate crisis.
So let me get this right.
60 families lost their homes. And you have this obsession with who our treasurer are. I mean, what do you think? Do you think we're some kind of local committee or something? It's pointless.
So you lot within your group have sprayed paint on an Aston Martin showroom to defy Suella Braverman. I don't know how that defies her, but that's what you lot did. You have sprayed paint on New Scotland Yard, The QE2 bridge is currently, as we're speaking, closed because of you lot. And you are somehow, your voice is going higher and higher when I have the audacity to question, who are you? Who makes these decisions that disrupts people's lives throughout this country? Where does the money go? Who's controlling the money? How can we be sure that you're a legitimate organisation and not a group of complete anarchists?
How can you be sure we're a legitimate organisation? What do you mean? Do you think we're some kind of secret anarchist conspiracy?
I think it's possible that you're a group of head cases.
You think it's possible that we're a secret anarchist conspiracy?
I think it's possible that you are a group of people that enjoy disrupting people's lives. It is also possible that you're a group
of course we don't enjoy disrupting people's lives.
Well, we don't know who you are or how you target anywhere in this country.
I'm Oliver Clegg. I don't enjoy disrupting people's lives, but I have found myself in this position because I am 19 years old and I am looking at a future which is bleak.
And throwing soup on Van Gogh is going to change government policy, is it?
I don't understand why you're faking this outrage about throwing soup at Van Gogh. Throwing soup at Van Gogh, it's not exactly the most shocking thing to ever be done.
So why did you do it then? Why did your organisation do it?
Well, because it got me on this show. It gets you paying attention to the most serious issue facing humanity.
And that's the point, I guess, Brendan. It is such an important issue, and we're running out of time, that maybe these people are brave and selfless.
No, they're not. They're apocalyptic weirdos, if you ask me. They have no mandate whatsoever from ordinary people because people actually want cheap, abundant energy and they want to live nice, comfortable, wealthy lives. They don't want to live in a hair shirt dystopia of the sort that is promoted by Extinction Rebellion and others. And I think taking action like throwing soup at sunflowers really demonstrates just how misanthropic this group is. That was an attack on human civilization itself, on art, on beauty, on the things that make life.
There was glass across the painting, and the painting was not damaged, Brendan, and you know that.
But still, symbolically, it was an assault on one of the great wonders of art that exists in this country, and that really demonstrates how much contempt they have. I think the broader point here is that we cannot allow their hysterical claims about the planet burning in the next few years and billions of people dying to become accepted as fact, because that is not fact. And it's been demolished by so many people, this notion that billions will die, that floods will rise by so many meters in the next few years. These are hysterical interpretations of largely cool-headed IPCC reports, which are much calmer in their predictions of what will happen. So we can't allow their apocalyptic fears to determine how we shape policy. Yes, we should.
IPCC described this as code red for humanity. We're not exaggerating what they say. They know that it's dire.
You are exaggerating, and it's become this kind of death cult. And that's why I think your questions about who runs this organisation are actually very pertinent, because it is quite cult-like. They do behave like a cult. It's like an end-of-days pseudo-religious cult that is constantly preaching about Judgment Day and demanding that we all repent for our eco-sins. And that's why most ordinary people don't take you seriously. Yes, we want to do something to improve the environment, but we don't want to go around thinking that the world is on fire, because it's simply not true.
You're being, ludicrously complacent. If you pay any attention to what the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change is saying, you'll know the situation is dire. And I am coming at this as a 19-year-old who knows that if I don't engage in civil resistance, then the government will continue licensing the 100 new fossil fuel projects they have planned, and that is a death sentence for my generation. And you're trying to tar us as being undemocratic, saying that our tactics aren't within democracy or something like that. But you, Brendan, are the same person who said that people should start rioting because the government wasn't doing Brexit quickly enough.
Yeah, I'm fully in favour of protest. I'm fully in favour of the right to protest, and I'm against the current attempts of the government to clamp down on protests.
Did you tell people to riot, Brendan? I didn't read that.
No, that's not true. I was asked on Politics Live on BBC Two if there would be riots over Brexit, and I said there could come a point when that would be necessary.
That's not advocating
because
necessary.
And I quote, people should be rioting.
But listen, Oliver, you're out on the streets defending your apocalyptic scenario and your right to make life harder for working class people. I was defending...
No, we're not. We're fighting for energy to be 9 times cheaper. That is better for working class people. Would you rather your energy bills were £3,500 or 400 quid?
I was defending the democratic rights of red wall voters whose vote for Brexit was being, at that moment, thwarted by the establishment. There's a bit of a difference between your elitist, regressive campaign to halt energy production and the argument some of us made that the right to vote should be taken seriously. So some of us are fighting for democracy. Others, like you, I would say, are fighting against democracy and imposing your elitist, fearful, apocalyptic agenda on the public when they don't want it.
No, I keep bringing up the cost of the energy. I keep bringing up...
But it's not just the cost, is it?
And you still are not acknowledging that. You know that the biggest solar farm in the UK went up in 6 weeks. And yet, these fossil fuel projects they're making are going to take years.
Oliver, we're nearly done here.
8 years worth of fossil fuel
Let me
reserves.
ask you this, Oliver. What is it you're studying at university? You say you're a student.
I'm studying plant science, botany.
Okay. And for how long have you been involved with this group? Is this just recent or what? You're only 19.
Well, I've been involved since it started, I guess about 6 months ago.
Okay. Well, listen, thank you very much indeed. Thank you, Oliver. Thank you, Brendan.